let me start out with the first question, which I'll ask Shelley. Who are you, and why are you running for City Council?
Thank you. Now we will go to Jorge Manzanera, Ward 3.
Ward 2.
Oh,
That's right.
I got the mixed up.
Okay, well, my name is Jorge Manzanera, and I say that slowly so you can probably say it next time. Jorge Manzanera. And I'm a business owner of Skagit Mediation. I'm the director of this service that's very important to the community to try to help people de-escalate conflict, try to get crucial conversations. And I also have a master's in administration and a bachelor's in biomedical engineering, besides being certified in mediation. I have certifications in neuro-linguistic programming, and I've always been interested in helping others. So I've been a teacher, a coach, a consultant for family business owners, and I think I bring international experience and this Hispanic presence and perspective that is so needed into our community. More than 30% of the population in Skagit, I mean particularly Mount Vernon, is Hispanic or Latino, and even more than 50% is present in the Mount Vernon School District. So we need to be able to, in the benefit of everybody, having this bicultural and bilingual perspective would be very useful to really get into the challenges that the city is facing. I'm also an alumni of Leadership Skagit 16, and I'm a board member of Community Action, alternate for Yadira Rosales and previously for Emilio Benitez. Thank you. And I also a member of Latino Advisory Committee and Skagit County Children and Family Consortium. So I'm as proactive and active as I can be towards exciting people around conflict resolution. And my logo is working together, living together. I think it's time to try to add that togetherness to our concepts of conversations and discussions. And my slogan is an apple, manzana, manzanera. It has to do with Washington, of course, for me being a past teacher, and health, and a bunch of other things. Thank you very much.
Well, my name is Gary Molinar. I've been on City Council for the last 7 years. I've grown up here all my life, 56 years old now. One interesting fact, I've lived in the same house all my life. I don't think too many people can say that. Was back when 15th Street and 18th were gravel roads and the garbage dump was at Maddox Creek. There's got to be a few people that remember that. Anyway, I was also a paper boy in the downtown when I was 10 years old, so I'm very, very familiar when JCPenney and Sears were part of our downtown and how things have changed in Mount Vernon and how have they ever. 1984, I graduated from Washington State University, got married a year later, my wife Rodney, and 6 months later, actually I was going into criminal justice and political science, and wanted to be a juvenile probation officer. And 6 months later after that, my dad, who opened up Kent's Hairstyling in 1958, passed away from a heart attack at 49. So then that threw a little curveball in the plans, and I ended up going into barbering, which I've been doing for 33 years now, and it's been a real experience for me. Purchased my home from my mom and raised my 3 kids there, and now we got grandkids. It kind of has this Walton's feel to it a little bit. I have a serious commitment to Mount Vernon and always have been, having lived here all my life, and I'm up for the challenges that are facing our growing community. So again, just thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you very much. So you've heard from everybody about their backgrounds and why they're running. And the next question that was posed to everybody is, what are the qualities, skills, and abilities you will bring to the Mount Vernon City Council, and how did you gain them?
Is it a question about what are the qualities?
This is the question about qualities.
Okay, well, I think I bring a mix of very important qualities about, for instance, living in other cities and other countries. And I think that also will have, in this time that I've spent here, more than 3 years now, it's not much, but it's been enough to build a lot of very good friendships and a very expanded network that includes most of nonprofits and a lot of members in the community. So I'm excited to make all these friends, and I think that I bring this, well, dedication to people regardless of where I was grown. I think that I can be completely devoted to make a better community. I have also some skills in terms of organization. I'm a live learner. I always want to go into Google and learn a little bit more and update my technology and just be really pragmatic and efficient in terms of technology and learning new skills. So I've done the Citizens Advisory Committee last year, and then the Citizens Academy, and then the Skagit, a number of other trainings that I find are very important to be a better listener. And then these skills of mediation, I think that really can be of use to bring communities together, to explore in more depth and with more responsibility that the situation with bringing more options, and in a fashion that will be collaborative. I think I bring family and personal values that are strong from my early childhood in Mexico to my current situation, where I'm devoted again to learn more about psychology and relationships. I think I'm very friendly and very open, and that's probably why I have so many friends here. I'm also very concerned about what's happening across the United States and across the world, and my decision is to really bring that level to that local level. And I'm concerned about the environment as well. Thank you.
Well, I never really planned on being in public service, but I was asked to join the Mount Vernon Planning Commission in 2007, and after doing that for 3 years, I decided to run for city council, and so I've been doing that for 7 years. I think qualities that you can acquire to be on the council. You have to be a part of your community, and I've been on a lot of boards. I really enjoyed being on the Parks Foundation, and some of the great things that obviously a lot of you have seen on our little mountain. It's been awesome with the trail building up there and different things like that. I've also been a part of the downtown, which one was it? There's a few on here, but I don't want to go into them all. Downtown Economic Development Committee. We've seen a real revitalization in the downtown area, which has been great to see, because it was definitely took a real hit in the 2000 downturn. So I've also been on the council committees with safety and library and the Parks and Rec department. That being said, I think one of the biggest pluses I have is actually being a barber. You get a lot of the pulse of the community. I'm even looking out here and I see some wives of the husbands that I cut, and I see questions that come through the wives to the husbands, and you be sure to ask him this, and I want answers and results. So it really does help to be part of that, community, and I've just really enjoyed serving on the council. So I look forward to continuing that. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much. Those are the first two questions. We'll go to the third, but I hope everybody's thinking and the questions that you have for the candidates to follow up on any of all of these. So this third question is more specific. What do you see as the greatest challenges facing the city, and how do you think city government can help in addressing them?
Well, we are in the middle of a housing crisis, and I agree it's not a nice term, but it's a very real one. More than 3,600 units are required just to start solving the issue for Skagit, and a very good, important portion of that would be for Mount Vernon. And that, putting that problem in the center allows to see what are the painful consequences, mostly of course for the people that are looking for a place, even having the way to pay for our rent, and they have to live in their cars. So more than 300 homeless people are sleeping here in Mount Vernon, and that connects with a lot of people. I know there's drug and drug abuse, and there might be some mental health issues, but what comes first? I mean, if we make the simple mental exercise, make sure it's mental exercise of being homeless, it's really important to see that many or most of our population are very fragile, so they live check by check, and anything can break that very apparent stability, and suddenly we have families, children that are part of our community, and our friends and our neighbors living in the streets. And I think that we need to be very preventive in that very serious problem. And it looks challenging for everybody, and it's more complex, and it's cheaper to solve that problem. So, talking about the beautiful work that Erin in the police department is doing as a social worker, I would just think that it's better to hire more of them and maybe even diminish the police force if that's the only way to bring another social worker. So we need to bring quality of life is another issue that I think that goes for everybody. So for instance, parks and recreation can provide more services, like provide more tournaments for soccer fields and chess and many other things. So a lot of things to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Gary.
Well, to me, I think the two biggest issues are public safety and growth. Obviously, we had to deal with a police officer getting shot this year. That's something we have not seen before, and we had to go through the pain of dealing with that. Currently, our police department is down 2 police officers, and it's been very hard to find qualified people to fit these positions, but it's imperative that we fund these positions, and I really stand behind that as far as our public safety. Second, the growth. It's a double-edged sword, it really is. I mean, I want Mount Vernon just to stay the way it is, and why wouldn't you want to live in Mount Vernon? I mean, people are moving here because they like it, and there's a reason for that. But the reality is it's going to grow. But I think over this last year, the City Council has done a comprehensive plan on housing. Through this plan, we have opened up some doors to where we're looking at more high density housing, and that obviously is dealing with some of the zoning issues. One of the things that for me that is, when you talk about high density, is where do they go and what neighborhoods? I really feel it's imperative that we keep our established neighborhoods the way they are, and but allow to have some other high density buildings. Another issue is the management. Catholic Services has managed a few of these, and they've done an absolutely great job. But we all know which ones aren't doing a good job, and it definitely impacts our communities. So I think through this comprehensive plan that we will be able to address some of these issues, and it'll be a really good thing for the growth of our city next few years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you all agree with me that we heard some really interesting things here, and that there's a lot more to hear from everybody. And I'd like to encourage people to send up any questions that they'd like to have posed to the group, so that we can follow up on some of the conversations and ask some things that triggered your interest. I've gotten one so far, so I'll begin with that and hope the rest of you pass them up. Oh, here's one. Thank you.
They raised their hand now.
And Peggy will have two. Great. Lots of good questions. And candidates, I appreciate your very thoughtful answers and consideration of the issues that are important to the community. Thank you. So I'm going to ask these to the group as a whole and offer people the chance to answer if they want to. So just raise your hand if you have an answer. of a question that you'd like to address.
Yes, well, I think we're going to grow even if we want to stay the same. We're in the middle of the corridor that goes between Seattle and Vancouver and Bellingham, so we don't have any choice to stay the way we are. And I think that we can protect the farmland by allowing higher density. That will also mean better quality of life for residents, and that will allow investments to come, and having investments that can actually see employees finding a place and then more customers that will allow the city to grow within the city limits or without having to occupy the farmlands. That I agree are very important aspects of our culture in Skagit County, and also the environment. So we need to grow in a way where we can learn to recycle things and to be more aware of the challenges that a city needs.
You know, when I was coming back from college, and I think everyone in this room realizes, like, when they've been away for vacation or coming back from college or whatever, when you come over Starboard Road and you get that look, it's like, I'm home, right? And it's like, there it is. Well, you're not looking at the Kent Valley when you do that. You're looking at our farmland. And for me, the cutoff has always been Bangkok's Road. I think if anything goes past that, it will. And just next thing it'll be all the way to Conway and it's over with. So obviously our growth, everybody is kind of seeing where it's kind of headed. It's obviously headed to the east. But I think, you know, with real comprehensive planning, we can have a say in what happens, and I totally agree with what I've heard tonight. I don't think we move into farmland.
So let's go on to that was some good answers from everybody. Let's go to the question, another question that is a little bit different. How important is it to work with the mayor when you agree with the mayor, and how do you oppose the mayor if you do not agree?
I think well, we need to be very proactive as city council members in exploring solutions that have happened in any other city or any other country. To really find alternatives rather than just a passive way to solve problems. And we might not always agree, and we need to then have really good reasons and very good facts that can allow us to find more options. And finally, there's many problems we'll need to live with, like, for instance, housing prices for the next 10 years. If we get VC, that will be probably diminishing every time. So again, our responsibility as city councils, I think, is to bring, of course, the voice of our residents and try to find solutions in a collaborative approach to doing a lot of research of our own and really responsible.
How much time do you have to devote to council work? I'll start at the other end here. I saw that look of like.
How much time do you have
to devote to council work, city council work?
It takes a lot of time. Obviously, I work in downtown Mount Vernon 8 hours a day cutting hair, but I think you've seen it, you know, my activity level, it's not just with the city council, it's being on boards and different community organizations, and I feel that's just as important as being on the council, because you actually get to work with other people and find out what they're thinking, and it gives you a good rounded view of what's actually going on, you know, in our city. So the reading is what, I'm not a real reader, so the reading, it can be troublesome at times, because sometimes in our city council handouts that come at the beginning of the week, it's not interesting reading, but you plow through it, and so it takes time. You want exact hours?
I don't.
Minutes?
You get to answer this question how you choose. So, Jorge, what's your answer?
Yes, well, especially at the beginning, of course, there's a learning curve, and that's going to take, I guess, more than 10 hours a week of really committed and devoted study and reading. I like reading, and I think that's a key aspect of being aware of the details and solutions. And I think that I'm my own boss. I'm self-employed as a mediator, and I think I can find more time without having that requirement of 8 hours a day to commit to certain things. I will continue, of course, dedicating a lot of my time to be part of the community with in boards and in events and with nonprofits. So I think it will get better within a few months, where I can probably start putting more time for my family, my lovely wife Yolanda, and well, other things that need to happen for us. Thank you.
All right. We had a couple of questions about homelessness, so I'm just going to ask the shortest one. What would be your plan to assist with the homelessness issue? Yeah, anybody can jump in. This is another one you can jump in if you want to respond specifically.
Okay, well, many things can be done with homelessness. Of course, we have to ease the pain of those that are experiencing it, and there's different levels of complications, let's say. Some of them have more situations going, like drug abuse or like mental health. Those, I would say, are the most difficult ones, but many other ones are fairly simple. They just need to find a place to live, and they need to go back to a certain, let's say, job, and of course they need more qualifications. And community action, for instance, was really concerned and working really hard around this issue, and it's education for adults, and they have a way to help people help themselves. So I think there's a lot of coaching, social work, and just love towards them in terms of trying to understand their needs, and that will alleviate a lot of what's happening with the homeless.
I'm going to try to get 2 questions in here because they're pretty interesting, and so far nobody's answered the tax question. So this question says the city has rarely increased property taxes, but we recently had to pass a sales tax, which is generally regarded as more regressive, to pay for basic road infrastructure. What do you think about this, and what is the best way to pay for services that our quality of life depend on? Tough question.
I can respond. I'll stop laughing. In 2007, we had like REIT money that was specifically that goes to roads. During the downturn, we cut back on our city streets, and you probably could see issues with that when that happened. And it was either raised property taxes during a recession. We decided not to do that. I'm glad we did, but when the sales tax came forward, it's time to get our roads back in shape, and all that money goes strictly to roads. It's not just like a big federal government thing where it just goes into a big pot, and I'm not sure where that went. Who knows who spent that? It goes directly to roads. So you're going to see some real improvements in our roads in the upcoming years, and I'm glad we did it.
We are running out of time, and I don't mean to shut anybody out who's got a last statement, but I just wanted to say that this has been terrific. I think the candidates have given us a really interesting things to chew on, and they've all done a wonderful job, and I'd like to thank them again for stepping forward and running for If you all would turn your evaluation sheets in, those are important to us. That's part of how we're going to make our evaluation decision on these candidates. So we'd love to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everybody, and please turn in. Peggy can get some.